Kriya Babaji Namo. What does the initiation into Babaji's Kriya Yoga consist of? Initiation involves your initial experience of the Kriya Yoga techniques and also the transmission of the consciousness and energy of the teacher to the student. It generally takes place in a series of sessions. It might be in a weekend or over several days. Generally there's about 15 sessions, about 45 minutes each, to cover up the 7 different dhyana or meditation kriyas, the 6 phases of a powerful breathing exercise known as Kriya Kundalini Pranayama, and a couple of sessions to teach you the 18 particular asanas or postures that Babaji has chosen from among so many yogasanas. The training in the pranayama, or the breathing technique, we call this Kriya Kundalini Pranayama, the scientific art of mastering the breath. In this training, you're going to learn how to circulate the prana, or energy, from the breath through the central channels in the spine, through the chakras, from the base all the way to the crown of the head. And in so doing, to awaken the chakras and to raise one's consciousness into the higher centers, where one begins to experience the psychological states associated with them. The word Kundalini means your potential power and consciousness. And this technique of Kriya Kundalini Pranayama is the most potential in Babaji's Kriya Yoga. It's taught in 6 sessions because it has 6 aspects to it, 6 phases of it. And you're going to learn it in a systematic way and practice each of these 6 phases in rotation. The second part of the initiation consists of training in 7 dhyana kriyas, or meditation techniques. Learning to meditate is like learning to go back to a house and going inside and you find lots of dust, the residue of a lifetime of experiences. So we begin our training in meditation by going down into the basement of the house, opening up the windows in effect, and cleansing the subconscious, the basement, using a very elegant technique which we call the first dhyana kriya, Shuddhi dhyana kriya. We're going to remove what we call the dust or dirt from the subconscious. Those things which are still driving you, those things which are like old habitual worries and desires and fears. As the dust in your inner house begins to disperse, you begin to see your path. And then the second meditation technique is going to help you to stay on your path. You're going to learn how to concentrate. The third meditation technique will enable you how to see exactly where you want to go in your path. And you'll cease to be a dreamer and you'll become what we call a visionary, one who remains faithful to their dream. In the fourth meditation technique, you're going to learn how to master your intellect, how to communicate, solve problems, reason. Your intellect's a wonderful tool, but not a very good master. It can't solve all of your problems. Fortunately, you have higher faculties, like intuition, but unfortunately, you don't use them. So in the 5th, 6th, and 7th dhyana kriyas, you're going to learn how to tap and develop your intuition, your psychic, and the superconsciousness. So the initiation technique is your initial experience with these techniques. And the third part of the initiation consists of training in the 18 yogasanas, 18 postures which Babaji has selected. And they're unique in their manner of being practiced, with emphasis on the energization, rejuvenation, and relaxation effects. We don't emphasize, for example, performance, trying to do the posture in a perfect form. Okay? We teach them in stages, which makes them accessible to everyone, no matter what their degree of flexibility or health status. The postures have profound effects, not only physically, for example, on the glands and internal organs and various systems, but also they work on the subtle anatomy, the chakras and the internal subtle channels known as the nadis. By opening them up, the effect of pranayama, bringing in more and more energy into the body through the breath, is able to reach its full potential, as we're able to circulate the energy through these channels without obstruction. So the postures themselves are also done in a meditative way. And by opening up the nadis and chakras, by practicing in a meditative way, they are truly part of our spiritual development and process. They're not merely a physical practice. So these three things are taught in the first initiation. Generally, it may take a whole weekend. About 15 hours of intensive training. There's a lot of material to learn, but aside from learning it, you're going to practice everything. And you're going to get individual feedback on each practice that you do. So by the end of the weekend, you'll have practiced everything and gotten some feedback on how you can improve your practice in future. Our goal is to make you autonomous so that you can go home and be able to continue the practice on your own with full confidence in a progressive manner. Aside from learning the techniques, the most important thing you're going to get is the system and the motivation to practice all these techniques you learn in this first weekend on a regular basis, on a rotating basis. Each day of the week you'll practice a different meditation technique, for example, and a different phase of Kriya Kundalini Pranayama. We'll encourage you to practice 18 asanas every day also. In this way, you'll have quite a varied menu. Your meditation is not going to be boring, doing the same thing every day. You'll have something new to practice each day. And like that, you're going to be able to practice not only things that you find easy, things perhaps you're good at, but also you're going to work regularly on those things which may be a little difficult for you, a little more challenging. Like that, your weaknesses will become your strengths, and your strengths will support you and enable you to go even further. In this way, you'll be able to develop physically, the yoga postures principally, vitally and emotionally, using the practice of pranayama meditation. You'll be able to master your mind and its higher faculties with the dhyana kriyas, and also develop the psychic, the intuitive, and the superconsciousness. In the climax of our training in the first initiation, you're even going to learn how to communicate with the guru, that inner guru, who we call Babaji, through the last dhyana kriya, last meditation technique, which I'll talk about in a subsequent talk. Like this, you'll be able to find joy in all five bodies, not just in the physical, not just in the spiritual, but physically, vitally, mentally, intellectually, and spiritually. The Kriya Yoga initiation is a wonderful experience. It's going to mark a new beginning in your life. You're going to be equipped with a number of tools which will enable you to master your life in all dimensions. I invite you all to attend an initiation seminar with one of the trained acharyas or teachers of Babaji's Kriya Yoga, who now are resident in many countries in the world. And like that, you'll find a friend, you'll find someone who's going to be able to encourage you in your practices, and based on their experience with the practices, take you even deeper. Jai Babaji.